Marcus felt the smooth glass of the tablet warm under his palm as I lifted it from the nightstand. It had been charging there. Face down, a small red notification light pulsing softly in the dark like a heartbeat. I wasn't searching. I was silencing an alert that kept repeating itself, the sound threading through my sleep until it pulled me fully awake. The screen lit instantly. No password. She'd never felt the need. A chat window sat open. The most recent message resting where my eyes landed without effort. A name I knew from passing stories. Aaron. A coworker. Someone she'd mentioned, casually, the way people mention weather. The message wasn't dramatic. It didn't need to be. It asked if she'd made it home safely, and said he'd liked hearing her laugh today. I didn't scroll right away. I noticed the room first. The soft rise and fall of her breathing, the faint hum of the ceiling fan, the weight of the night pressing evenly on everything. My chest stayed steady. That surprised me. I'd always assumed discovery came with noise inside the body. This came with clarity. I read back slowly. Days, then weeks. Conversations braided into our life without disturbing the surface. They talked about work frustrations, about small victories, about how understood she felt when she spoke freely. She asked about his weekend. He remembered details she'd once asked me to remember. There was affection without declaration, intimacy without naming itself. I set the tablet back, exactly where I'd found it. In the morning, we moved through our routine with practiced ease. Coffee brewed, toast browned. She asked if I'd slept well. I said yes. The truth was I had. The quiet had settled something I hadn't known was loose. Our marriage had been gentle in the way long partnerships can be, predictable. We shared calendars and responsibilities. We were kind to each other. Somewhere along the way, kindness had replaced curiosity, and curiosity had quietly found another home. At breakfast, she mentioned Aaron in passing, an office meeting, a deadline. I nodded and kept my attention on the mug warming my hands. Silence is an absence. It's a choice. I chose it carefully. Over the following days, I changed nothing visible. I didn't confront. I didn't withdraw. I listened more than usual, noticed more than usual. I watched how she angled her tablet when messages arrived, how her smile arrived early when his name appeared, how conversations with me ended a beat sooner. I stopped filling those beats. When she talked about being tired, I believed her. When she said work was demanding, I believed that too. Truth rarely lies outright. It simply arranges itself selectively. One evening, she came home later than expected. She apologized quickly and reached for my hand, squeezing once before letting go. The gesture felt like punctuation, not connection. I kissed her forehead and said it was fine. My calm unsettled her more than anger would have. I could see it register. The silence did its work without my directing it. She began to ask if everything was okay. I said yes. She asked if I was upset. I said no. I wasn't lying. I was observing. The moment arrived on a Sunday afternoon, light pooling on the living room floor. She sat on the couch scrolling, laughter slipping out before she caught it. I looked over and met her eyes. I didn't accuse. I didn't reference the tablet. I simply said her name. She stilled. I told her I knew about the conversations. I told her I'd read them. I told her I wasn't angry. I told her I wanted to understand what they were giving her, that I no longer was. The words came out evenly, not rehearsed, not sharpened. Her face changed in layers, surprise, relief, then fear. She said it wasn't physical. She said it hadn't crossed a line. She said she hadn't meant for it to grow. She said she felt seen. I nodded. I told her being seen isn't an accident. It's a choice repeated. She asked what I wanted to do. The question hovered between us, heavy with expectation. I told her I was going to step back, not leave immediately, not demand ultimatums. Step back. I told her I wouldn't compete with someone who already had part of her attention. I told her she could decide what she wanted without me negotiating my worth. That night, I slept in the guest room, not as punishment, as alignment. The distance clarified rather than wounded. In the morning, she was quiet, careful. She said she'd end the chats. I told her that wasn't the point. Ending something under pressure doesn't reveal intent. Choice does. The days that followed were tense but honest. She tried to bridge the gap with effort, with reassurance. I received it politely without leaning into it. I needed to see what remained when urgency faded. Eventually, she told me she was confused, that she loved me but felt drawn elsewhere. The admission didn't break me. It completed the picture. We agreed to separate, gently. There were logistics, conversations held at a kitchen table that felt suddenly neutral. Friends were told in careful sentences. No spectacle, no blame assigned loudly enough to echo. On my last night in the house, I packed quietly. I paused at the nightstand and unplugged the tablet, setting it face down one final time. Objects don't carry guilt. They carry moments. Months later, I heard she'd transferred departments, that the chats had ended, that she was trying to understand herself. I hoped she would. I meant it. My silent reaction hadn't been strategy. It had been respect. For myself, first. Silence created a space where truth couldn't hide behind explanation. It changed everything by refusing to argue with what was already clear. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't demand. I listened, stepped aside, and let reality finish speaking. And in that quiet, I learned that dignity doesn't announce itself. It simply acts.